Oh my god, guys.
Yeah. What a day. These housemates seem to be after my sanity today. Guys, it's been an emotional roller coaster today. See ya, I feel like everything these housemates have been feeling today, I have also been feeling it. My sanity, it's not stable right now. I feel like I'm going to explode. Listen, a lot has just been going on today. If you've been following my uploads today, I've just been trying as much as possible to fill you in on all the details. And as I am trying to fill you in on the details, more and more and more chaos and drama is just happening. Everything is just unfolding at the same time. And it's not even time for the wage presentation yet. The pool party has not even happened yet. But a lot has just been going on in the house today. There's a lot of tension in the house. Tempers are flaring. The housemates are particularly cranky. It's afternoon at the time of filming this video, but they are yet to have their bath. Yes, not all of them. One or two of them have actually had their bath. They had to be rebellious to go have their bath. They've not had their breakfast. Okay, a few have actually snuck around to have some cereal, but the rest are hungry. Yes. So emotions are high, tempers are flaring, and then there is festering beef within one or two of the housemates, and they have had a chance to explode. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a lot. Oh, I also forgot to add that whilst all of that chaos is happening in the main house, Flora had a well of tears. Like she was literally pouring out a well of tears in the diary room as Big Brother had just today informed her of being the GAMBIT. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, it's been an emotional roller coaster, even for me as a viewer. So brace yourselves because I'm going to be spilling all the details on this video. And of course, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if any other drama happens, then it's going to be on my later video where I get to fill you in on everything that happened with the wage presentation and possibly the pool party. All right. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So first, beginning with Flora's diary session. Ladies and gentlemen, she had gotten into the diary session quite emotional. She was crying, and just for the sake of time, I'm not going to dwell on the other things that she talked about, which were biggest usual questions, to the housemates during their diary session this week. But fast forward to Big Brother reminding her of the GAMBIT gameplay, which he had informed the housemates of just last week, Monday. She said she remembered. And then Big Brother broke the news to her that she is the GAMBIT. Now, there's something Big Brother did. Yesterday, when he had informed Aiko during Aiko's diary session, he told Aiko that Aiko is the GAMBIT. He did not say you are one of the GAMBITs, right? And that was the exact same thing he did today with Flora. He told Flora, you are the GAMBIT. And I loved that Big Brother did it that way, because what this means is that both GAMBITs are not aware of each other's existence. So as far as they are both concerned, they are the only GAMBIT in the house. And I think it makes a lot of sense that way. They should both play their games and put their best foot forward and do whatever assignment Big Brother, task them to do, and let us see how they perform. All right. Yeah. But now back to Flora. The moment Big Brother broke that news to her, she was shocked. She went red instantly. Like, guys, Flora was torn. She started crying. Like, guys, she was actually crying. See, she spent so much time crying, not shedding tears. She was literally crying like a child that the mother just abandoned and ran away. See, she was so pained. And I could totally understand. I could totally understand how she was feeling at that point in time. She was crying so hard, guys, because think of it this way. For however way you did it, you spent a lot of time and resources to audition for this season of Big Brother, yeah? And then you finally gained the opportunity. And for you, yes, you already have your brand you're building. So you want the platform for not just to build your brand, but also for the money. 160 million naira in Nigeria's economy is not beans. It's no child's play. It's a lot of money that could actually go a long way in an individual's life, especially for one person that also has a business and really wants to expand. So right from the very first day Flora got into this house, she has been very, very, open about being there for the money. So everything she has been doing, it's been her leading herself to that prize, to that money. She doesn't sleep early. Flora doesn't sleep early. She's one of those housemates that stays awake till dawn. Yes. So when people that broke that news to her, she was crying so hard. Now, earlier when she stepped into the diary room, she was crying because she was scared of eviction. And then Big Brother decided to leverage on that chance to inform her that, well, she is the gambit. So he was trying to explain to her that she shouldn't see it, the wrong way, because it gives her the opportunity to gain longevity in the game. She's there till the last day. And she has other opportunities to win money from other sponsor tasks. But she was like, no, she doesn't want that. That what she wants is, the money. She wants to win the money. And she was actually hoping to work hard, put in her best to earn her stay in the house. But Big Brother could not really console her beyond what he had told her. So he allowed her to cry, which I really appreciated. And cry, she did. She cried and cried and cried. Like, guys, her eyes were red. Her face was red. I felt so bad for her. I was literally shedding tears alongside her because I could totally understand the pain and the frustration. Imagine coming all this way for the money, but you cannot compete for the money, but you're in the house. And I could also imagine the dilemma she found herself in that instant. There's the question of, should I just take a voluntary exit? Is this worth it at all? Or should I just go with the flow, right? But at that point in time, I don't think she was really, really thinking hard about this whole thing. For her, it just felt like there was no point being in the house anyways. She had been what's that word I'm looking for now? She's been deprived of that chance to equally and fairly compete for the cash prize. So she was really crying. And then Big Brother just had to remind her of the rules. That, listen, the rules of the house still applies to her, same way he reminded Aiko yesterday. And this is to remain a secret. If she's spilled to anybody else, if she let the secret out or even allowed a hint of it out, then she could likely be disqualified. Yeah, that was just the bitter truth that Big Brother had to remind her of. And so Big Brother told her that she could take time to gather herself in the diary room, and then afterwards she could leave. Even when she wanted to leave, Big Brother had to call her back and tell her, no, sit down, gather yourself, and then you can go. And it was so hard to watch because, the tears were real. And so even after she went outside, she took herself somewhere else. She was crying and crying and crying. Guys, even as I'm talking about it right now, my eyes are welling up. I feel so bad for her. But you see, I think she will have to settle properly and give it a good thought for her to realize that all hope is not lost. Like, she's not going to lose out entirely at the end of the day. After all, she has longevity in the game. Number two, she is going to market herself and her brand very well. There's that peace of mind, even though there's also the turmoil of losing the cash prize, but there's also the peace of mind of no fear of eviction, right? And also the fair chance to compete for sponsored task, even though there's also the equal disadvantage of fellow housemates sabotaging those tasks and then your team losing out and then you are not winning. So there's just a lot of, the good and the bad attached to it. I just hope she really makes the most out of it, because it also means that she will have to put in extra work to win whatever task is available to be won. Yes. And later on, Onyi was consoling her, and she, from what Onyi was saying, oh, don't worry, there'll be a lot other tasks to be won. Don't worry, I'll be here with you. Just as a friend would console a friend. And the internet went wild because a lot of people felt like she had already gone ahead to go and tell Onyi that she was the gambit. But I do not think so, because, yesterday she put in a lot of work into the sponsor task and she did not win. And she was sad yesterday that she did not win it. So I felt like she probably concocted a story that she told Oyin that, oh, I'm crying because I did not win the sponsor task yesterday. And so Oyin was trying to encourage her that, don't worry, there'll be other opportunities for us to win, money in other tasks. So ladies and gentlemen, please calm down. Except Big Brother calls her out anytime, any day from now to say, oh, Flora, you have been disqualified for for breaking Big Brother's rule or Big Brother's law, then I do not think there's any cause for us to worry or even fret that she has actually exposed her identity, to her friend Oyin. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to hear your thoughts about this. What do you think? How do you feel about Flora, being one of the gambits and not having equal opportunity to compete for the actual cash prize? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, moving on to we're going to come back to other housemates' diary sessions, all right? We're going to come back because 5 housemates did not have their diary session other days of the week. So today, they had their diary session. So I'm going to come back to that. But now, let's quickly talk about the mad chaos that just suddenly, out of the blues, erupted in the house. I'm referring to the face-off between Ricky and Martins during the rehearsals. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was what exactly happened. Rehearsals was going great. The housemates are making tremendous progress. I mean, if I do say so myself, compared to what they were and how they were performing yesterday, they have made such tremendous progress. It is going amazingly well. Yes, it's going great. However, in the midst of all of that rehearsals, Ricky has been sulking like a big kid. He's been sulking. And if you've watched my analysis about Ricky's diary session where he was complaining and nagging about being demoted from the role of director, you will understand why. It's a very long one. Please go ahead and watch that video. It's a very long one. Now, Ricky has been sulking. He has been looking for a way to disrupt the flow of things, and every time he tries to do something, Martins shuts him down because Martins, Yusuf, Chimsom, the guys, they see what he's trying to do. So, today, he's been the same way. He's been sulking. So they are doing great. The housemates are doing fantastically well. And they were trying to do like a final rehearsal just to get it perfectly so everybody can go and rest. And boom, Oyin made a huge mistake. And then she disrupted everything. And it was so frustrating because at that point in time, everybody was tired. Guys, they've been rehearsing this thing repeatedly, like from start to finish over and over again. They've done it over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times already. They want to get it perfectly. They want to get perfection. But Oyin now disrupted it. And it was so annoying because, sometimes when directors are giving feedback, Oyin is one of those people that is always talking. So Martins was so frustrated. I mean, remember, all the housemates, they are cranky at this point. And he carried the chair and said, I will just see this thing on your head. Now, what's wrong with you? So he was frustrated. And guys, it wasn't like he was going to hit that chair on Oyin's head. We know that Martins is not mad. Even though they are all tired and stressed out. We know. I mean, Cassie was so upset and he has shouted at the housemates, are you crazy? People have been shouting at themselves, tempers have been flaring. So we know that Martin was not going to hit that chair on Oyin's head. Even Oyin knew that she messed up and she was immediately apologizing to Martin that, oh, sorry, it's my fault, sorry. I accept it's my fault. I mean, she knew. We know that normally Oyin would not back down, but she knew that she messed up. She knew that they had gotten it right, but that thing she did messed up everything again. And even though the housemates too were disappointed because they knew that that one slip would mean they have to rehearse again from the very start. So everybody was frustrated. But guess what? Ricky immediately leveraged on that scenario. And immediately he just jumped up and shouted at Martins, whatever is wrong with you? Why would you carry the chair like you want to hit her? And I was like, eh? Hold on a second. Hold on, Martins. Pray tell, when did Oyin become your favorite human in the house? When did Oyin become your bestie, your lover, or what? When did you begin to care so much about Oyin? Because Ricky does not particularly care so much about Owen. So I was wondering, like, dude, hold on a second. Are you sure it is this chair situation that's making you upset? Because Martins too was like, dude, what's up? Like, how do you see me? Do you think I was really going to hit her? He was like, no, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Da, 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 da. Why would you da, 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 da? Are we children here? They made me put directors of this particular show. They didn't say you are our directors. Are you our father? He was just angry. I was laughing because I knew why Ricky was upset. And was just going off and going off. Don't tell me that. What the hell? He was just angry. And Martins was like, dude, calm down. It's not up to that, you know? So at some point, Martins realized that, okay, this is what this guy is trying to do. So he was like, whatever. So he ignored Ricky. And Ricky was still going off. He was still angry. And then was not explaining to somebody that, how can he carry the chair like that? Okay, fine. Me too. I have to complain because I've been watching you here since. You are calling people by Ace, you. Don't you know our names? Why can't you call our names? I say, Martins, I'll be Ricky. Ricky? Are you sure that this is what is actually upsetting you, man? Actually, this is what is really upsetting you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we know that this guy, this whole envy, because to be very honest, the directors have done so well in organizing everything. And I am now really anticipating the actual presentation itself because everything looks wonderful at this point. And every time the housemates are hyping themselves up for doing a great job, Ricky's face is like this. Like he's angry. You can see that he's envious because he also knows that at the end of the show, that's their presentation, they're going to give like a bow and accolades to the two directors who are going to stand at the front in the middle of all of them. So he was really pissed that, oh, he should be the one there and not them. So he had been looking for a way to vent out his frustration. And you see that little, outburst from Martins, that was his cue. And he had leveraged on that to explode. And you see, just as Martins had done the other day where he tried to do it, Martins noticed that, okay, this guy is trying to be shady here. He just ignored him and moved on to the rehearsals. And Ricky went back to sit beside, what's his name, Chimsom Chuka, and he was... Hey, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, listen. For one, I was happy that finally Ricky got his chance to explode because the way he was looking since on Monday, it looked like, no, since Tuesday actually, it looked like he was going to fall sick. Because you know the thing about holding grudges, right? When you're harboring resentment, you're holding grudges, it's going to fester like a wound. And then there could likely be an implosion if you do not let it all out. So I was glad that he actually exploded so that he will let out at least a portion of his resentment and frustration, right? And I mean, it's better that way rather than him having an implosion. Yeah, because an implosion would mean that he will fall sick with headache and everything, fever, everything, because the anger and the envy is eating him up. Anyways, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, let's quickly take a few steps back to the diary session. There was Belle's. Belle's had a diary session and I found it quite hilarious at first, not until I listened to what's his name now, Tram and Sheba's diary session. And that was where I learned what exactly Belle had done during the rehearsals. And that really pissed me off. So she came into the diary room and she was telling Big Brother that, oh, she feels targeted. She feels like the whole house, they are coming for her unnecessarily, that when she's doing something, they are all shouting and shouting, especially when somebody else is doing it. You know, like when somebody else is doing something, they don't see anything. But when she does it, everybody calls only her name. Big Brother was asking her, are you sure that all these things are happening without reason? And she was still adamant that, oh, she didn't do anything. She's innocent. She was literally whitewashing herself that she's innocent. And then she said that, oh, like now they were rehearsing. And then she went upstairs to use the bathroom. There was somebody else in the other bathroom. Nobody talked about that person, but it was only her that they were talking about. And then another scenario was that, oh, there was the gathering with the head of house. Head of house has finished passing on Big Brother's message. And then why should she sit down there and still be gossiping or still be talking about what they're talking about because they were done? So she left, you know, because she was tired. And I'm like, okay. Now, When Tram and Sheba had the diary sessions, they heavily vented about how Bells just completely disregards the group. That this is something she does all the time. That they painted the same scenario, but they were saying, the way they put it, they said that they were having their rehearsals and Bells just left and went to go and have a bath, which is insane, right? Now, I was trying to compare it with what Bells said, and I thought, okay, fine, Bells. Even though somebody else was doing it, did you also have to do it? What point are you trying to prove? Doesn't really make sense. Because now it's not giving more validity to all the complaints that Chimsom made about you during his head of house reign. Chimsom had his fault. He was quite biased. But now, you are now giving full flame to what the rest of the house now perceives about you, that you do not respect the house when it comes to head of house meetings and gatherings. And it doesn't really make sense. So according to Sheba, she strongly believes, in fact, Sheba and Tram, they strongly believe that that is Belle's strategy, because she waits for the wrongest time and then she does the most ridiculous things just to get people talking. Because by the time she came out of the bathroom to join the rehearsals again, she came back with such audacity. She was so unapologetic, and it was so triggering for the rest of the house, and people were just talking. But then, even though they put it that way, I had a question that, okay, when the other person who was in the bathroom, which is Keivo, when Keivo was in the bathroom, why didn't they say anything about it? Why didn't they complain about it? So once again, it still boils down to the imbalance, of judgments in the house. There's still some level of bias. And what Bells is doing to herself is she has created this perception about herself. And from the look of things, it's not going to go away anytime soon. Barry's diary session was the next diary session that I absolutely love this week. Oh my goodness. You see, Barry is very unassuming, right? Is that one person that you don't see him coming? Now, I've listened to his conversations and the guy is really smart. Business-wise, he knows what he wants. He's very focused. He's really good at what he does. In fact, I'm completely sold out on his fashion brand. The guy is really good. However, I've always felt like, this game he's playing, he's kind of invisible. But then he got saved during the nomination process. And during the conspiracy hour, a lot of people took him into the conspiracy room. That's the first sign. Then being saved during nominations is the second sign. Now, came into the diary room today and he was sharing with Big Brother his strategy, which I love. I love the fact. See, when a housemate goes into the diary room and admits to having a strategy, I am smitten. Honestly, I am sold. So he was telling Big Brother his strategy, which is to be neutral in the house, not to pick any fights with anybody, not to be in anybody's face, instigating for fights or spoiling for fights. And when there's a fight, he removes himself so that he doesn't have to take sides. And in every friend group, especially those ones that have animosities and rifts, he ensures that he is friends with every single person in those friends group, so that his name is not the first name that comes up during nominations or during conspiracies. Yes, and it worked for him perfectly. Now, he admitted that one person in the house, is it two people actually, they have sort of clocked his strategy and they've been watching him. I think you mentioned Tram, and then there's also Kamsi. Chimsom Chuka has also clocked him. Chimsom mentioned that during his diary session yesterday. So Big Brother then asked him, how does he intend to get Kamsi off his hair? And he said, well, his plan is to get close to her, begin to have conversations with her, spend more time with her, so that he can prove to her that he is just a simple guy. He has no ulterior motives. He has nothing up his sleeves. He has nothing planned, going on. And he noticed that Kamsi is now very close to Gerard, and Gerard is his friend. So he's going to begin to get close to Kamsi as well, just to erase that suspicion that she has towards him. Such a man, ladies and gentlemen. I was blown away. I was thoroughly impressed. And you see, at that moment, I realized that this guy came prepared. He came prepared to play the game, to play the long game, not just the game, to play the long game, to play the game of longevity. And if he is lucky, it's going to work for him for a very long time. And I am most excited to see how it pans out for him. Yeah. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you like his strategy or not? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, Sheba's diary session, oh my God, it was beautiful. It was a breath of fresh air. She said a lot about Belle's, which I mentioned earlier. Talked about the pros and cons of being the head of house, you know. I mean, we already know that. And then she also gave Big Brother hints of what's happening in the house through her brief radio show performance in the diary room, which was spectacular. I loved it. I mean, the fact that she could just pull that off, you know, off her head instantly when Big Brother requested for a show, that was quite impressive. And then she also mentioned that one thing is actually missing in the house for her, you know, that she feels like the viewers are not really experiencing the lover girl side of Sheba. And that is because most of the guys in the house, they are quite, you know, they're quite young. Like, in other words, they behave like children for most of the people in the house. And people asked her to explain. And she went on her own to talk about how they talk. You know, Tram is her friend, but Tram is that one housemate that gives her a lot of stress, especially in this head of house regime. And it's making her bewildered. You know, she's wondering, like, why is this guy so stressful? The guy is really stressing her, but she likes him. He's a friend. Now, Big Brother said with regards to love and relationship, she said last week that age is just a number. So why is she complaining about the guys being too young for her? And she said, well, even though age is just a number, but it's still quite unfortunate that the guys in the house, in fact, almost 80% of people in the house, they behave their age, like their exact age, like they are too childish in their thinking, even with the way they say things or express themselves. It's just, and she's just too grown for all of that. And guys, I wasn't particularly mad about anything she was saying because everything she was saying was actually true and a fact. But fingers crossed, Big Brother told her age is not a number, reminded her that she said that age is just a number. So I cannot wait to see if she's going to want to do anything with anybody, because she really spoke highly of Chimsom. You know, Chimsom is somebody that she trusts, that she can confide in, that is a very good friend, and someone that she can always conspire with, especially during the conspiracy hours. And that was why she saved him with her veto power and would keep him in the game. In fact, she would love to see him in the finals, you know, because he motivates her to do better. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm watching and I'm thinking, could she make a move on Chimsom and both of them ends up being a couple in the house? Or would she want to give the age thing a try by having a thing with Tram? What are your thoughts, guys? Which would you prefer? Who would you prefer? Would you prefer for Sheba to ship with Chimsom Chuka or Tram or anybody else? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about all I have shared on this video. I'll see you guys on my next one. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.